first thing that came to my mind when they told me that my mom had died was that I didn't have enough time. I felt like I didn't have enough time to. There's a fucking dog that bit me. That's where the dog was at. The bitch ate it.
Bit the baby?
That was here in this house. You see how they run around right here?
Mm-hmm.
They freely. The kids be, riding their bikes and shit. These motherfuckers come out of nowhere. Just blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'll fucking kill all these bitches. But I think the most thing that hurt me the most was the fact that like I told you earlier, if my son was to not want to hug me and not want to kiss me and not want to touch me, and I felt like they didn't love me, I think that's the worst thing you can do to a mom. And I felt like for 20-something years, 25 years, 24 years, I made her feel like nothing. Like she was nothing to me. Based on what somebody else had me believing. That wasn't even her fault. So, yeah, Dad. Oh, it's okay. I'll stop and get some, Dad. It's okay. Okay, Dad. Thanks. All right, love you. Bye. So, I felt like I didn't have enough time to make up for all the years that I hurt her. And I broke her heart because I was mad. And I felt like I didn't get a chance to say that I was sorry. Even though it wasn't my fault. And that's the high school I went to, by the way. That I got expelled from and arrested at too. Lytle High School.
Lytle High School?
It wasn't that big when I was going either. They've been adding on to that bitch. They think they doing something in this town.
It was smaller?
Hell yeah. What school do you know got horses across the street? Lytle High School. Look at this shit. We be out here running track and shit. All you smell is horse shit. But I think that was my biggest point, and I just felt like we didn't have a relationship because of everybody else. We weren't close because of what I was told, and then on top of that, the only thing that she had was to see me every day, and they took that away from her. So I just feel like they took a lot away from us. Our relationship was never what it was supposed to be because of a lot of other people that kept interfering, which I don't know why. Who would want to interfere with a mother and her child? Who would want to force a kid to believe something about their mother for 20-something years? And then I grew mad with my aunt because I felt like you knew she was sick. You may have not known that she was going to die, but you knew she was sick. And you should have called and said, your mom is acting a little weird. Maybe you need to come down here. This is the Lytle Cemetery. This is where both my mom and my grandmother are buried. On one side, as you can see, it's not very decorated, not very, flowers or anything like that. And then on this side, you see all the flowers.
Why is it?
It's segregated.
Are you serious? Wow.
This is like all the Latinos over here, and these are like all the white people over here.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So,
And you can tell too by the names.
we're coming
Martinez, and then y'all got Hoffman.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
So this is where my mom and my grandmother are buried. I've only visited my mom once since I buried her. And I only do that because I can't take it. Since she passed away, I work. You guys notice I indulge myself in my work now. I overwork myself. I'd be tired as hell before I just get home and unpack my bag. I gotta repack it because I gotta get back on the road. But that's the best way to deal with a lot of things for me. And it's different. It's a different situation than it was with my grandma who, raised me. That was like my mom. That was my nurture. That was the one who should have protected me. But even though, regardless of what it was, I loved her. I loved her and I loved my mom regardless of what kind of relationship that I had. I never not loved my mom. I just was mad at her. So that stopped me. But push came to shove. I felt like my aunt should have called and told me, but no. They want to call and tell me my aunt's dead. My mom's dead. So from Cincinnati, I get to the airport and they tell me that the flight has been delayed until the next day. I said, no. That is impossible. Like, my mom just passed away. I need to get home. I can't have this inconvenience. So what they end up doing is flying me to Atlanta, sticking me in a hotel, and giving me a free flight for the inconvenience and flying me out the next morning to Milwaukee. So that whole night, I had to sit by myself in the city and just let it soak in that my mom is passed away. Like, she's passed away. She's gone. Like, that's it. I don't want to hear her laugh no more. And my mom was happy. And she liked to laugh. She would laugh, like, at anything you said. She would just laugh. Laugh. Like, she had this loud, like, ridiculous laugh. And she would just laugh. And just to know, like, I won't be able to go sit outside and smoke a cigarette with her no more. I won't be able to say what I had to say to her. I needed to say what I had to say for me. And I didn't get that opportunity, so I then flew into, but I felt like they shouldn't have told me that she was passed. They knew I was out of town. They knew I was by myself. I think that they should have told me that she was sick and then tell me when I got there. You know, it's so hard to travel in pain and crying and around people. You know, I'm in the airport just crying. People are staring at me. I get stuck in Atlanta. I'm crying all through there. You know, but they did. And that's it. So I got there. My aunt picked me up. From the airport, we went straight to the funeral home. And we get to this funeral home, and it's this old ass funeral home. Like, you walk in and the boards are squeaking. And they're there asking me to sign all these papers. And I'm like sitting there like, am I signing papers for my mother? Is that what I'm doing? Like, it wasn't registering to me. I couldn't believe I couldn't even take in what the fuck he was saying. So then they start telling me about cremation. My mother always said that she did not want to be cremated at all. But she wanted to be buried on top of my grandmother. There's no way we could have stuck a casket on top of there, and it would have been harder for us to fly a casket back here. My mom had a very cheap insurance by the name of Title 19. So it covered very, very little. So my aunt and I discussed it, and we decided to go ahead and cremate her, and then I would transport her ashes home and place them over my grandmother's grave. So they gave me 2 hours with my mom. Mind you, I haven't seen her in a year. And all I get is 2 hours with her body. It didn't seem fair. Nothing at all seemed fair. 2 hours just wasn't long enough. Like, that wasn't even long enough for me to play with her hair. You know what I mean? So we do the paperwork, and now I'm sitting there, and they're like, okay, we got to go get her something to wear. And I'm like, all right. We're going to go get her something to wear. I'm going to go get my mama something to wear. Again. I got my grandma something to wear. And now my mama needs something to wear, and I'm going to do it because I'm her daughter. And if I haven't done anything for her whole life, and she needed me, then I have to make this right. I have to do it right. So I went to the store, and it was very difficult because I was just looking, and no matter what I seen, it just wasn't good enough. And then, because of her sodium and her body retaining water or whatever, she was very bloated. So we had to find her like 3X, 4X shit. So we picked her out an outfit, and then we had to go find her a cross. We're Catholic. So normally there's a cross on the caskets that are blessed, and the family gets to take that cross home when it's time to go ahead and, bury them or cremate them or whatever. So I picked out the cross. Then they come and they're like, you gotta help us make this fucking thing of pictures. This fucking collage. And I don't want to look at these pictures right now. And you should understand that. But no. Well, you gotta help me. I don't gotta do shit. That's how I feel. Don't tell me what I gotta do. What I gotta do is find a way how to deal again. And that's what the fuck I need to do. You put the fucking collage together. It's a fucking collage. Why the fuck would I want pictures of my dead mother in my face? I don't want to see it. So, of course, that side of the family don't know how to respect what you want, because it's always you got to do what they want. They know best, and you got to do this, and I don't got to do shit. I don't give a fuck if it's a collage or not. But it bothered me even more because putting this collage together, it was all pictures of my mom and them. I haven't taken a photograph with my mom in probably about 10 years. So nobody had a picture of me and my mom to put in the collage, but one of me when I was a kid. I was about maybe 4 or 5. And that's the only picture they had. So we get to this funeral home eventually. My dad flies in. And we get to the funeral home. And I was supposed to be allowed some time by myself before everybody else. Of course, here comes everybody else. Here comes my uncle talking my ear off. Like, I don't want people around me. I need a minute with my mom. But couldn't nobody respect that. And I got a mouth. So when I get started, I'll keep going, and I just didn't feel like going there. So, of course, it was put on Instagram or Facebook. I don't remember which one, but a couple of my fans ended up showing up, and, some people sent some arrangements. And it was very sweet and very thoughtful of them. But when I walked up to the casket, it didn't even look like her. They did, when I say such a terrible job on my mom, I can't begin to tell you how terrible of a job they did. When I say that did not look nothing like my mom, it looked nothing like my mom.